up, even though I was a non-Christian, I grew up in a church, and sometimes I would read the Apostles' Creed, and there's a later addition to the Apostles' Creed that says, "And he descended into hell." And I always wondered about that. And then after I became a Christian, that was one of my first questions, and began reading through the scriptures. And you've got this place in 1 Peter chapter 3. It speaks about Christ, that after his death, that he was made alive in the Spirit, verse 18. Then verse 19, in which he went and proclaimed to the spirits in prison. And then he goes on to talk about that these spirits who are in prison, that they disobeyed in the days of Noah. And I was like, what in the world does that mean? And what appears to happen is that when Christ died on the cross, we always wonder, well, what happened those 3 days where he was? Well, his body, it says, was in the tomb, and his spirit evidently descended to Hades, or the place of the dead. I don't think it's right to call it hell. Hell appears to be something that's coming later. Hell isn't something that's now. Hell is the lake of fire that will one day come. So Hades is the place of the dead, and apparently, according to 1 Peter, and also in Jude, you see it in 2 Peter as well, there were some angels who did something bad in the days of Noah, and they got resigned to a place. If you remember during Jesus' ministry, he's casting out some demons, and they say, don't send us to that place. Put us in the pigs instead. There's a place that the demons knew about that they didn't want to go to. Well, it appears that that's where Jesus went during that time, and he proclaimed victory, that he had, through his death and the resurrection that was about to happen, that he had defeated sin, Satan, and death, and that their condemnation was going to be certain. And then, on the third day after his crucifixion, he rose from the dead. Now, there's some preachers today who will say that he descended into hell, and there he received all this different stuff, and that's just not in the Bible at all. It appears that what happened was he went into that place and he proclaimed the gospel in the sense that this is what has happened. Judgment is now certain.